Greetings, beloved. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Creme Constellation, where I use astrology as a tool for gaining clarity and awareness. And today I would like to bring your awareness to Mercury's second retrograde of the year in the sign of Cancer. Mercury will officially go retrograde on the 29th of June, and this will end around the 23rd of July. Please remember that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology. So apply this general information to your personal life. Don't force anything. Don't try to make something fit that doesn't. Just let it naturally flow and see what you may likely expect or experience during this Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Okay, so first things first. What is the Mercury in Cancer experience like? Well, when Mercury is in Cancer, it brings our attention to what's personal and what hits close to home. Our thinking and our mental focus slows down, and we become more intuitive, more emotionally perceptive, and we process the day-to-day running of our lives through our emotions. So basically, your emotions become your headquarters. And this energy is perfect for making intuitive decisions or tending to any matters of the heart that need resolving or that need reflection and your personal attention. And so, in a general sense, when Mercury goes retrograde, that retrograde is an opportunity for us to reflect and pay attention to how the day-to-day running of our lives actually makes us feel. But if you're interested in a more personal experience of Mercury's retrograde, this is where your chart enters the chat. So the area of life that you have ruled by the sign of Cancer is the area of life that is highlighted for re-inspection and renewal. And the retrograde becomes even more significant for you if you have planets or angles within the retrograde degrees. That's really where the tea is. So for this retrograde, check to see if you have any planets or angles from 16 degrees to about 26 degrees of the cardinal signs mainly. So the cardinal signs are Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and of course the most important one, Cancer. So if you have any planets or angles there, this retrograde is very significant for you, and it is going to impact whichever planet or angle is touched by this retrograde very, very significantly. Like, you are going to notice how you are emotionally triggered or affected by the goings on within that area of life. And yeah, let me know in the comment section whether this Mercury retrograde touches any of your personal planets or angles and which house it's moving through for you. And I will let you know what are some of the personal experiences that you may likely have. So when it comes to retrograde energy in the sign of Cancer, it is about re-nurturing. So whatever the Cancer energy is ruling for you or touching for you, you know that this particular thing needs you to mother it, right? It needs tender love and care. It needs you to be a little bit softer with it, a little bit more delicate with it, to take your time with it, right? To hold it close to your chest and make sure that it receives all the nutrients and guidance that it really needs. So that's more or less what we're going to be doing with this Mercury retrograde in Cancer. We're going to be thinking about how we've ignored our intuition when it comes to this area of life, how we've abandoned this area of life, or maybe how we've abandoned ourselves in connection to the things that this area of life rules, right? The Cancer energy is big on abandonment and a lack of nurturing. So we're going to look back at that and how have we neglected, how have we been bad parents to this particular area. And now with this retrograde, we have the opportunity to reparent this area of life, to give it the guidance, the nurturing, the repair that it needs, the hugs, the attention, the time that it needs, investing in it and reminding this area of life that it is worthy of our attention, outside of the busyness of life, right? Because the Cancer energy or the Cancer area is where we go within to our emotions, to how we feel inside, the things that people cannot see and cannot measure. All right, so that is what we will be reflecting on and renewing during this Mercury retrograde. So now let's get into some of the potential personal experiences that you may be having according to your rising sign. Okay, so make sure that you listen for your rising sign. You can listen for your sun sign as well. All right, the timestamps will be listed in the description below. And as you know, my contact methods are also in the description, or they're going to pop up in the video somewhere. Feel free to get in touch with me and ask me any questions about the impacts of this Mercury retrograde to your personal life story. I look forward to hearing from you. Hi, Cancer rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is very significant because it is moving through your sign, and it is likely going to touch either your ascendant or the sun or any other planets that you may have in the first house. So in the house of self, you are reflecting more so on perhaps your physical appearance. If you have any insecurities, this may be the time where those insecurities are triggered. Maybe you are reflecting back to a moment where somebody commented on the way your body looks, your face, the way that you dress, your personal style, the way that you talk, the way that you just be, right? The way that you are, and you're reflecting. There are triggers around you right now that are transpiring that are causing you to reflect on your appearance. And this is a time for you to be gentler with yourself, to not beat up on yourself about your looks or your style, because a lot of these things can be changed. Now, obviously, I would prefer and advise that you learn to love what you have. Everyone has perfect imperfections. And those things are what make you you. But if they bother you that much, you really can make a change, right? You can go to the gym, you can change your style, you can change your hair, you can get your teeth fixed, you can change the way that you speak. Like everything about approach and personal appearance, okay, maybe not everything can be changed, but a lot of these things can be changed if they bother you to that degree. But I think right now, it's more so a time of speaking more gently and thinking in a more nurturing way to yourself. Maybe you've abandoned, right, making an effort with your looks, making an effort with showing up and expressing your personality. Maybe you've been going through some things that have caused you to kind of retreat your energy, and this retrograde could be encouraging you to get back out there. Obviously, don't start anything new because it's retrograde energy. We don't start new things. But go back to that self that made you feel good. Be the parent for the way that you look that you maybe never had. Say the things that you wish you heard, maybe from your mother or maybe from yourself, right? Maybe from society, even from friends, from people that never complimented you. Give those compliments to yourself. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Cancer. Please feel free to use the comment section. Let me know what some of your experiences are and if any of what I have said resonates with you at all. I'll see you soon. Hi, Gemini rising. So for you, this retrograde energy is moving through your second house of livelihood, your material possessions, your values, as well as your self-worth. So you may be reparenting or re-nurturing your livelihood. Maybe there is a certain way of earning that you have been neglecting. Maybe you haven't been doing your job the way that you're supposed to. Maybe you've been slacking. Maybe you've been putting in the bare minimum, and now it is time for you to go back and see where you have been falling short in that area. If it's not about livelihood and work, it could be about just money in general, your relationship with money, right? This could be a time where you're reflecting on all the things that you've been taught about money, right? The saving, the spending, the giving. Some of you could be learning about money in a different light from what you have previously been taught, right? And you're kind of changing the way that you look at money, the way that you think about money. So you may have some triggering experiences involving money. Maybe you make a purchase and you don't get your money's worth for what you bought, or God forbid the money gets stolen, but God forbid, or maybe there's like a return of a personal item that was once lost and now you recover it, right? Or it could be that you're finally getting paid back by that person who's been owing you for months and months, maybe years, who knows? Okay. And on the other hand, if it's got nothing to do with money, it could be connected to your values and your self-worth. How have you neglected your values, Gemini? Where have you abandoned yourself? In what ways have you abandoned yourself? Maybe you've even abandoned yourself for money, right? You've decided to neglect or shut out your values, not consider your values in the ways that you are earning or receiving money. And this is a time where you get to reflect on that and really question whether or not what you're doing for money aligns with your values. Are you being true to yourself? Do you feel comfortable with the way in which you are earning? Or maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you have compromised yourself in a relationship. So yeah, it could be any one of those or anything within that field. So let me know, Gemini, what some of your experiences are. Please use the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you, and bye for now. Hi, Taurus rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place within your third house, right? The area of thought process, your mindset, communication, information, learning, your neighborhood community, your siblings, and potentially your extended family. So there is a lot that could transpire for you, like a variety of things, because the third house is the Mercury house, right? And you just so happen to have Cancer there. So some of the experiences that you may have, there could be conversations coming back up. People may be reaching out to you, people from your past reaching out to you, maybe for closure or maybe to rehash a conversation where there was some form of misunderstanding. There could be perhaps a reconciliation with siblings or people that you may have had some form of verbal conflict with, or just difference in opinions and the way that you see things. So this could be a time where either you are rehashing and rehaving these conversations, or you're just reflecting on them, right? Perhaps you've decided that you're no longer going to speak to some of these people that you've had some of these situations with. And that's okay, to each their own. But it's okay to also journal about it and write about how these conversations or these situations have made you feel, maybe made you feel neglected or abandoned or unheard, right? Ignored, perhaps. Some of you may be re-nurturing or reparenting some form of learning pursuit or learning endeavor. Maybe you had started learning something and then you kind of got distracted with life. And this is a time where you may be returning back to, whatever that thing is for you, to re-nurture that skill, right? To relearn, to revive, to reignite your ability to do this particular thing or to have and learn this particular knowledge. There could also be a lot of delays, like with day-to-day travel. So you are the ones, Taurus, that I would say make sure you leave home early, because traffic could be a huge bother for you. And also check your devices. Make sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to, because you might, experience a glitch with your laptop, your computer, your phone. The Wi-Fi might not be working like it's supposed to. People may say that they have called you when they haven't, or the signal just didn't go through, right? There could be some misunderstandings as well around this time. So I feel like you actually may be the most significantly impacted, mainly because the third house is the Gemini house. So it may very well be visible for you in a way that you can't ignore, Taurus. So try not to get frustrated. Go with the flow. If things are not working, maybe rest, right? That is another thing that you may need to be re-nurturing around this time, is giving your mind an opportunity to rest from consuming a lot of information. So, where some of you may have abandoned a learning endeavor, others of you may have been learning a lot, right? Ingesting and digesting a whole lot of information, and your brain just hasn't gotten a break. And this retrograde could be the time for that. It could be the time for you to just relax your mind a little bit and think about making yourself feel good, but in thought, right? And maybe consuming information that is a little bit more relaxed, that isn't too complicated to understand, but it's kind of like re-nurturing your mind in a way that can make it easier for you to continue studying or to continue, with your learning pursuits. So yeah, that's highly dependent on many things. There could be a bunch of things happening in your third house for that to be accurate for you. But nonetheless, I would love to hear from you, Taurus. Use the comment section. Let me know what some of your experiences are and if you resonate with any of what I have mentioned here in this video. I'm going to leave it there. I will see you soon. Hi there, Aries rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde takes place in your fourth house, right? The area of family, home, property, your foundation, and also your emotions, right? How you are within, the home within. So you may have experiences where there are some disruptions to your family dynamics. This could be a time where people are disagreeing and past ills or past grievances are coming back up in order for people to talk them through and work them out. This could also manifest as certain things in the home maybe breaking down or not working the way that they are supposed to. And some of you may be taking a trip down memory lane, to your childhood, to maybe even your family lineage. Some of you could be having conversations with your parents or elders about how they grew up or how life used to be. There could be a very nostalgic feel within the home during this Mercury retrograde for you. And what you are reparenting or re-nurturing, Aries, is your emotional world, right? The fourth house is the home within. It's not just the physical property. So perhaps you have been neglecting your emotional wellness, right? You've been neglecting, maybe you've been neglecting the way that you feel about a certain dynamic in the home. Maybe you have a strained relationship with one of your parents or siblings, someone who lives within the house. And you've kind of just been sweeping it under the rug, not addressing the discomfort, and maybe this is a time where the discomfort might get worse so that you have to address it, right? And it could be your feelings about anything that it just doesn't feel right to you. And this is a time where you kind of really need to allow yourself to address those emotions, those emotional discomforts. You need to sit in it, maybe cry a little bit. You might feel better after a good cry. You could be seeing yourself crying around this Mercury retrograde. And also, this can manifest for some of you as revisiting a home project. Maybe there was something that you had started, but then you got distracted, you had to attend to other things, work responsibilities, and you kind of abandoned the home project. So around this time could be the time where you go back to that home project and fix what needs fixing and revive it, bring it back to life, okay? And the most important thing that I think for you, Aries, with this Mercury retrograde is self-care, re-nurturing yourself, reparenting yourself. Perhaps you need to rest. Maybe you've been out and about. There's just been a lot going on in your life. I can just imagine with Saturn being in your sign, and how that might be affecting you. And you may be fatigued in more ways than one. So this may be the time where you need to re-nurture yourself, do a little bit of self-care, self-love, and be softer with yourself. Be the parent that you didn't have or that you wish you had. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Aries. Please use the comment section. Feel free to let me know if you resonate with any of what has been said or what some of your experiences are. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon. Hi there, Pisces rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your fifth house, right? The fifth house of expression, self-esteem, creativity, play and enjoyment, right? Personal fulfillment, as well as children. So some of you may be re-nurturing the inner child right about now. So this is a time for you to play. Go back to those childhood games that you used to enjoy, right? That used to make you feel good and feel fulfilled. This is a time where you can reignite that hobby, perhaps that's what you ended up abandoning because life has been lifing and you've had to be an adult, or whatever it is that you have been experiencing that has caused you to abandon your creativity, to abandon a hobby, to abandon a certain idea. This is a time to go back to that and start doing it again, right? Renew it, revive it, give it a new life. I feel like of all the signs, Pisces, you are the sign that actually has permission to play a little bit, and for the sake of the inner child. Those of you who are parents or who have children, or there are children in your lives, even if you are not their parents, this would be a really good time for you to get in touch with them, talk to them, listen to what they have to say, maybe even share your feelings with a child. Obviously, nothing inappropriate, just something lighthearted, ask them about maybe a conflict, that you have with your best friend, and what would they do if they had a conflict with their best friend, and just hear the child's perspective. You may find that to be very healing for you, around this time. And another experience, romance. So you're the one, Pisces, where the exes might be returning. And these are the people that you may have had casual encounters with, where it didn't really become anything, right? It didn't really go anywhere. Maybe the person kind of wasted your time a little bit. Maybe you even felt abandoned by this person, right? And this could be a time where they may come around and try to rehash some things. I would advise set your boundaries, but to each their own. Maybe you can rekindle the spark that never really took to light, right? But for some of you, the past exes will not be returning themselves. You may just be having a lot of dreams about them, or there's just a lot of symbolism around you that reminds you of them and has you reflecting on those short-lived romances or dates, or moments of flirtation, but the people themselves may not be returning to your life. So you just get to reflect on, who you have been in those dynamics. How did you handle those things? Did you abandon yourself for the person you were dating? Did you start doing things for them that are not natural to you? Okay, these are all reflection points that you can use. What else? Oh yeah, and also this could be a time for you, Pisces, where you are watching like nostalgic movies, or or music. Could be music that you're listening to that's just taking you back to the good old days, and it's helping you feel good and feel better, right? There could be, for some of you, certain situations unfolding with your children or the children that are around you. Maybe they are going through some things, maybe some heavy emotions that they're dealing with, and they need you to be there for them. They need you to handle them with care. All right, so I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Pisces. Please do use the comment section. Let me know what some of your experiences are, and if you resonate with any of what I have mentioned in this video. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Aquarius rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place within your 6th house. This is the area of daily routines, daily tasks, the environment that you are in daily, your overall health and wellness, and pets, for those of you who have pets. So some of you may be re-nurturing or re-parenting your health routines. Some of you may have neglected or abandoned eating healthily or exercise, meditation, yoga, whichever one it is for you. Maybe it's even taking medications for something. Those of you who are on a treatment for whatever, this is a time where your health is coming back into focus, and you may need to go back into looking at the ways in which you can live a healthier life for your body, for your vitality, right? Some of you, it can be more so daily routines. Maybe you just don't have a good work-life balance. You're working more than you're resting, or you're resting more than you're working, depending on the kind of work that you do. So this could be a time where you are restructuring things in that area. For some of you, the environment that you are in, maybe you have been neglecting cleaning it, right? Maybe there are certain things that you have been postponing and putting off and saying, no, I'll get to it. And now is the time to get to it. You want to make sure that you are living in a clean space so that you feel healthier, you feel more energized, you can think clearer. Those of you who have cluttered environments, cluttered spaces, this is the time to get rid of some things. Say goodbye to the nostalgic, sentimental value items. Obviously, not things that you can't replace, but you really may need to be picky with what you should keep and what you need to let go. Allow yourself to release some of the things that have been holding on to you, honestly. Sometimes you may think that you're holding on to an object because it reminds you of a thing, a place, a situation, only to find that that situation is actually holding on to you, and that's why your life is not progressing. So for those Aquarians that feel like life has been a little bit stagnant or stuck, maybe it's the environment, right? Maybe there are things within the environment that are just keeping the energy stagnant. And if you move things around, maybe you change the arrangement of where things are sitting, or you give things away. This could actually open up your path a little bit. All right, could be, might not be. Use your discernment, and only take what resonates, please. I'm not saying get rid of all your stuff. And for some of you, it could be your pets, maybe plants that you have, that haven't been getting enough attention from you. Maybe you got the plant, but you haven't been watering it as regularly as you should, or you just got the plant without knowing all the requirements that it needs, in order for it to thrive, in order for it to be healthy. Maybe this plant has been dying, right? And this could be the time where you actually manage to revive it without having to throw it away. And for some of you, there could be a recurring illness or ailment that you have dealt with, for quite some time. Maybe you had a toothache, right? That after you took some medication for it, some painkillers, you felt better and you decided that you were just better and ignored it. Now that toothache may be coming back around for you to properly address it, right? It could be anything else, could be rashes, could be any form of ailment that you have had that maybe you've been dealing with for many years. Some of you, it's only a few months. But this could be a time where you really have to look into that and do the research and find out what are some of the steps that you need to take in order to rectify that situation and ensure that you treat it from the root, right? Don't just treat it on the surface, whatever it is for you. And for some of you, these ailments may be spiritually connected to something, right? Related to something, and you find that the physical ailment is just a symptom of what's going on with you spiritually. All right, so hence making sure that you're taking care of your wellness on all fronts. So your physical wellness, mental wellness, spiritual wellness, all the wellnesses need to be covered around this time. So Aquarius, I think I'm going to leave it there. Please do use the comment section. Let me know if you resonate with anything that has been said here, if you want to share your personal experience. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Capricorn rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 7th house of partnerships or close one-on-one relationships, contracts, agreements, negotiations, some legalities for some of you, and enemies if you have any enemies. So you may be re-nurturing a relationship that was once neglected. So it's possible that the person that you parted ways with may be coming back into your life around this time. Either you reach out to them, you feel this strong intuition or the strong urge to reach out to them, or they could be the one who reaches out to you. It depends on the dynamics of that relationship. And this may be a time where you re-nurture that connection, and you realize maybe where you went wrong, or they realize where they went wrong. And this is a time of rehashing what transpired within that relationship dynamic and fixing things. For others of you, the person may not be returning to your life, or you also may not wish to rekindle things with this person. However, around this time, you may find yourself thinking about them a lot. Memories, there are signs and symbols around you, music that reminds you of them, or people may be asking you about this person or bringing them up, and this could cause you to want to reflect on that relationship and what really transpired. And maybe you found that you abandoned yourself for this person. You were willing to go all in for the relationship, and give it what it needs and nurture it, where you weren't being nurtured within that relationship dynamic. So it all depends on what you come out with as you are doing the shadow work and the reflection on this particular partnership. For others of you, it could be legalities, so certain contracts or negotiations that maybe didn't go accordingly in the past, but now this contract or this offer may be coming back around and being made again, where the terms of the contract may be more favorable, more fair, more nurturing to your needs. Okay, or some of you, it could be a time where a contract is severed. The way things have been going is just not working for you. You don't feel seen, you don't feel nurtured. So this could be a time of severing that contract. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Capricorn. Do use the comment section to let me know what some of the experiences that you are having are. Let me know if you resonate with any of what I have said. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Sagittarius rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 8th house of shared resources or shared finances, intimacy, death and rebirth. It's the house of the occult, your psychological mind, investments, taxes, loans, debts, you name it. It's a lot going on in the 8th house. So for you, Sag, you may be re-nurturing an investment. There could have been an investment that you abandoned, something that you were, investing in. It does not necessarily have to be financial, although that's likely, but it doesn't have to be financial. It could have been an intimate relationship that you were investing in. It could have been something that you were researching or investigating that you were investing your time in, right? That you somewhere along the line abandoned. You maybe didn't have time for it, or your interest in that particular topic or subject started waning and you kind of neglected and left it by the wayside. So around this Mercury retrograde could be the time where that interest and that curiosity is reignited and you go back to researching and reinvestigating the situation or the topic of interest for you. For some of you, it is the investment. Maybe you were saving up for something and then financially, your money had to address other responsibilities and you weren't able to contribute to your savings or your investments. So this could be a time where you're relooking at your finances and seeing how much you can direct in the direction of your investment or savings or whatever it is for you. For some of you, could have been paying a loan. Maybe you were paying and then something happened and you stopped and now you're going back to paying it once again. You are also another one that could be receiving money from someone that has owed you money for a very long time, or maybe it's an institution that has owed you money for a very long time. And yeah, you may be getting paid, Sag. This could be a very good retrograde. It really depends on the aspects that the retrograde is making in your chart, but I see money in your future. And another thing with this retrograde energy is an intimate relationship. This could be a time where maybe you're reflecting on the type of intimate partner that you are, or what you are seeking, what you need in an intimate relationship that you haven't been receiving. For those of you who are in a relationship, maybe things have been lacking on the intimate side, and it kind of needs you to reignite that area of life around this time, or just listen to the needs of your partner or share your needs with your partner, depends on the dynamic. And for some of you, it could be a time of death and rebirth when it comes to the mind. Maybe the way you used to perceive something wasn't necessarily in your best interest, and there could be some information coming your way right now that gives you a different understanding of that situation or even of yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for you, Sag. Please do use the comment section. Let me know if you resonate with anything that I have said, or if you want to share your personal experiences. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Scorpio rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is moving through your 9th house. This is the house of travel, foreign relations. It's the house of higher education, your life philosophies, your morals, your ethics. So you may be re-nurturing or reparenting a belief. Perhaps you have had a belief that just hasn't been kind to you. It has caused you to live a very challenging life with a lot of abandonment issues and neglect issues. Maybe you've had a perspective where perhaps you believe that, you deserve abandonment, or people always leave you, or you never really are nurtured or cared for the way other people are, whichever outlook it is for you, could be anything. This may be a time where that outlook, that philosophy, that perspective is changing, right? You're digging deeper into it. You're getting a greater understanding and a higher meaning of why you feel like that about yourself or about this situation that you may be finding yourself in. And then for some of you, this might involve higher learning. So higher learning is not just limited to going to a university or a college. The higher learning could be, just gaining more knowledge than what you previously had, right? A higher perspective, like a leveling up of the information that you currently have. So this you could do by reading a book or learning something on the internet or having a teacher with you somewhere, and of course the universities and colleges and other learning institutes. So this could be a time where you're returning to that. Maybe you were unable to finish a course. Maybe you were unable to even register, right? And this could be the time where you actually get an opportunity to re-register and do the course over. Some of you might be changing the course of learning. Some of you may experience having a different teacher. Perhaps the previous teacher just wasn't quite cutting it for you, or you just felt like you weren't really understanding them that well. They weren't really speaking your gospel. And this is a time where you're either seeking a new teacher or you're getting one, some way, somehow. Or it's the information, the way that it is being explained to you. You're relearning it and understanding it in a new way that you didn't previously understand. And for you, Scorpio, for those of you who are traveling, you may absolutely experience traveling delays. So make sure that everything is planned in advance, and any preparations that need to meet you wherever it is that you are going, whether it's accommodation or people or information, make sure that you already have a good understanding of what you are going to find when you get to wherever it is that you are traveling to. All right, so do take the necessary precautions. And I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Scorpio. Please do use the comment section to let me know if you resonate with anything that I have said, or if you just want to share your personal experiences. I look forward to hearing from you. So bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Libra rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 10th house of accomplishment, reputation, career, authority, right? Your own authority, or could be the authorities around you. And some male figures may be prominent around this time as well, male people in your life. So for you, Libra, you may be re-nurturing your reputation. Maybe there is something that transpired involving your reputation where it got tarnished, or people kind of forgot about you because you haven't been showing up necessarily. Maybe you've been in the background for too long, or maybe you took a hiatus. Maybe you weren't even around at all for a while, and this is a time where you're going back to the space and you need to remind people of who you are, right? Or you need to regain your reputation. You need to tell your side of the story. So it really depends on the planets that this Mercury retrograde could be touching or affecting within your chart. But yeah, it could be a time of re-nurturing your reputation. Also a career path. Maybe there's a career path that you intuitively knew you should be going in the direction of, but you just decided to abandon it due to other responsibilities, or due to maybe not believing in yourself or not feeling secure within that line of work or that career path. Maybe you had some limiting beliefs as well involved. So yeah, this could be a time where you're picking your socks up and you're going for it. You're trusting your intuition with it around this time. For some of you, it could be an important decision about something that you are responsible for. And this is a time where maybe previously you either didn't know what to do, or you ignored your intuition on what to do. And this is a time where, as you reflect on that choice, you may be changing your mind and choosing to go forward in dealing with it by applying your intuition a lot more and how you feel about the situation rather than the logical solution. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. And for some of you, there could be a prominent male figure in your life that maybe abandoned you. So this could be a father or a father figure or just some form of a leader in your life who was a guide for you, who perhaps left. And maybe you felt neglected, maybe you felt even misguided. And this could be a time where that person might return and apologize, or maybe not. You may not get the apology that you deserve. Especially if there was a decision or a judgment that was made against you that wasn't accurate or true. Some of you may not be getting those apologies that you deserve, and you may need to give them to yourself. You may need to let certain things go. It really is dependent on how the rest of the chart looks. And for some of you, this could be a time of residuals where you've been putting in the work, you've been doing what you're supposed to do, and now the rewards are coming in. You are accomplishing, right? This is from past efforts. This is nothing new. Okay, it's from past efforts and things that you have been doing. And this may be the time that you're gaining recognition. Once again, depends on how the rest of the chart looks. So Libra, I think I'm going to leave it there for you for now. Please do use the comment section. Let me know what your experiences are, or if you resonate at all with anything that I have said. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Virgo rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your 11th house of friendship, acquaintances, networks, group affiliations, your future hopes and dreams, any humanitarian pursuits that you have. And I feel like you may be re-nurturing a friendship, right? Maybe there's a friendship dynamic that was neglected. Perhaps your life called you to focus your attention elsewhere, and you weren't really spending time with your friends or with a particular friend. Maybe you and a friend had a falling out due to some emotional overreacting or emotional misunderstanding. And this could be the time where you rehash the event or what transpired, and you get to forgive each other and rekindle that friendship, or you get to rejoin the group once again. Maybe you were excommunicated from the group for reasons that were not entirely fair, right? And this could be a time where other people are seeing the errors of their ways, and they are maybe apologetic. Maybe they are wishing to have you back within the group. Now, for some of you, you may not rekindle these friendships. You may not rejoin the group. You may not even want to go back to those friends or to those groups. And the groups don't have to be limited to social friendships, all right? These could be groups where maybe it was a group of people that you were collaborating with on a work project, all right, or something that you had decided with a group of people that you're going to do, and then people didn't pull their weight or didn't do their part, or monies went missing. Anything could have transpired that kind of dissolved that group dynamic, and maybe you just don't wish to reunite with those people, and that's fine. So for you, if you're that person, then you may more so just be reflecting on what that dynamic taught you. The things that happened, what did you learn about yourself? The people that you were in this group with, right? Whether they be social friends or professional acquaintances, what did they teach you about yourself? What did they teach you about working with people, working in a team? Okay, so these are some of the things that you may be reflecting on around this time. Some of you may be reflecting a lot on your future. You may be thinking about where you are right now and where you wish to be, right? Where your heart is, especially with Cancer energy ruling the 11th house. These are your heart's desires, right? So some of you may have desires to either work in the social media space, or desires to be a humanitarian or philanthropist of sorts. and you just haven't quite figured out how you're going to do that. So this Mercury retrograde could help bring a little bit of clarity with that as to how can you go about it going forward. For some of you, it could be something that you have already started, but things have not gone the way that you thought they were going to go, and you kind of have to go back to the drawing board and see what you need to change, what needs restructuring in order for your idea to work. So it could be that too. I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Virgo. Please do use the comment section. Let me know if you resonate with anything that I have said, if you would like to share some of your personal experiences. I look forward to hearing from you. So it's going to be bye for now, and I will see you soon. Hi there, Leo rising. So for you, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 12th house of the subconscious mind, the hidden realms, isolation, loss or endings, your spirituality, your hidden fantasies. So there's a variety of experiences that you may be having, Leo rising. All right, but I think that some of you may be re-nurturing your spirituality around this time. Maybe you've been living a lot in the material world for the past several months or maybe several years, and you haven't really been nurturing your spirituality. And this may be the time where you are going back to past spiritual teachings, the things that used to help you understand life or get through life a little bit easier, that are, of a higher power, of a higher order, higher meaning as well. So this could be that time for you where you feel like maybe even that you don't have a choice but to go back to your spirituality due to some of the things that you may have experienced. Some of you may be experiencing significant endings or losses. I hate the word loss, but endings where certain things are dissipating, being removed from your life. It could be a completion of a cycle. Maybe something has been recurring and going on in your life for many, many years, and this could be a time where you are finally releasing it and letting it go. So it may be related to maybe a sibling, right? Could have been a conflict with a sibling that comes to an end finally, or it could be something that you were learning, anything mercurial, right? So your mindset, the learning, the information, people in your neighborhood, extended family, siblings, pets, plants, your daily environment, like something significant may be coming to an end for some of you. So check all the things that Mercury rules and see if you are noticing which one of those things it is for you. All right, but this may not be exact for everybody. Remember that all of this depends on the aspects that the Mercury retrograde is making to your personal placements. So that's not going to resonate for everyone. So you will need to do some observations yourself. And yeah, some of you may be reigniting a hidden desire, right? Maybe something that you thought was ridiculous or something that you thought you couldn't do, or maybe it was too selfish to do. And as you reflect on it now, you may realize that it's a part of how you nurture yourself, and it kind of sucks that you have to keep this thing a secret, but maybe you feel like certain people won't understand, or people might think that you're selfish for wanting to do this particular thing. So you could be on the down low, scratching this itch, but in a very nurturing way, in a way that is comforting for you, and that is a form of self-care for you. All right, I don't see you necessarily trying to disrupt anybody else's comfort zone with this. I feel like this one is a personal thing for you, okay? And there could be a lot of active dreams for some of you with this Mercury retrograde. Maybe there are answers or revelations that you are getting through your dreams, or maybe even through synchronicities, right, in your life as you live daily living. It can come in the form of the repeating numbers. It can come in the form of music, movies. Like synchronicity comes in many different forms. All right, so you will need to be the observer, but this is more so a retrograde that is impacting your subconscious mind, the internal world, the things that we cannot see. All right, or at least even if there is something transpiring externally, it may be connected to something unseen, something within the spiritual realms. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there for you, Leo. Please do use the comment section. Let me know if you resonate with anything that has been said here, or if you want to share your own personal experiences. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now, and I will see you soon.